Hello,
right.
good evening, everybody out there in live stream world. It's Radlin Mendoza and my husband and law partner, John Gardner from
Yeah.
Gardner and Mendoza.
How's everyone doing out there?
Hopefully, y'all are doing well. We are testing out a new microphone because one of our friends told us that we could use one.
Yeah, that's right.
So let us know if you can hear us. I have these really goofy headphones on.
And
Maybe
there's a huge microphone right here. You can't see it, but it's right in front of us. So
right in front of us. And
yes.
I pulled down processing times and they're actually on my phone, but that's okay. We can take a peek at it. So everyone out there in Facebook, live stream world, YouTube and Twitter, if you guys could kindly give us a thumbs up that you can hear us, that would be hugely helpful. I know y'all can hear us because we don't have a mic connected. And welcome, you guys. Welcome,
Yeah,
welcome,
for
welcome.
those of you who are on Facebook Live, if you see us looking over here, we do this simultaneously with our TikTok family as well. So we got a bunch of people joining us on TikTok, and I'm always looking over here because I monitor the questions that are coming through TikTok. So hello to everybody on TikTok as well. If you have questions, it's better off to put them on Facebook. It's easier for us to see them, and there's a greater chance that we'll be able to get to them. All right. And for those of you who are new, who have never joined us, Radlin, as she said, I'm John Gardner. This is my wife and law partner, Radlin Mendoza. We're the law firm Gardner and Mendoza, immigration lawyers, and we do this every week. Every Wednesday at 8 o'clock, we come here. We give you any immigration updates that there may be. We like to do a inspirational immigration story. We're going to do one tonight. And most importantly, we want to answer your questions. So if you have immigration questions, get them in the comments, and we're gonna answer them. I do want to warn you that what we do here is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not legal advice. Okay.
Not legal advice. That's right. Our lawyers told us
That's right.
to say that. All right, I'm going to share this. A couple of housekeeping things with the sharing, and I'm just making sure that we're all good. Thank you guys so much for your patience as we try out this new technology.
Mhm.
And Miss Lovely says she hears us loud and clear. Awesome.
All right, loud and clear. We like loud and clear.
Hopefully Steve comes on, our friend who told us to get the microphone because it would sound better.
Mhm.
Hopefully he comes on and sees that we took his advice.
That's right.
Because we
That's right.
we spent money on this thing. We spent we paid $100 for this microphone. The headphones we already have, but I kind of want to take the headphones off. I'm hot.
I don't know. You look so professional with the headphones
Yeah,
on.
yeah. These are our daughter's, our 10-year-old daughter's headphones for her iPad. But yeah, I got them on the head. All right. We've introduced ourselves, right? So
Yes,
I didn't hear a thing that you said.
Oh, just that we do this every week.
Yeah,
we
okay.
need to give them the contact information, though.
Contact information.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Our contact information. If you all here's something that you want more information on, or you would like to have a consultation with us, you can contact us for an appointment at 757-464-9224, or you can send us an email or message to our email address, info at gmlaw.net. And you can also send us a message through Messenger, which is monitored usually. And we really like to try to respond timely. If for whatever reason we're not in Messenger, please call the office, 757-464-9224. I had a consultation with someone from TikTok this week, and they said that our office, and Jackie specifically, Jackie Murray at our office was amazing and super helpful. So best is to call the office.
Yeah.
All right. Fantastic. Let's see here. And let me see if I can put, oh yeah, look, here's our contact information right there. Right there on the screen.
So what I said earlier at the beginning was that one of the things that we like to do before we get to the updates and answering your questions, one of the things that we always like to do is bring you a inspirational immigration story of the week. And we pick someone or something and discuss it for a little bit. And so tonight our story is about a dear friend and a longtime colleague, Renee Perez Lopez, who is retired now, but just a really, really, really wonderful, wonderful man. Just so smart, so educated. He's one of those guys that you feel like he knows everything.
He does.
He does.
Not only do you feel that way, but he actually does know everything.
And I'll just give you a little bit of background, just at least from my perspective. In addition to immigration law, for 20 plus years, I've been doing criminal and traffic defense. And so I've spent a lot of time in courthouses all over Virginia, state and federal, and jails. I've been in every jail in the area, including where they hold federal folks that are awaiting trial. And I've spent a lot of that time with Renee, many, many, many hours through 20 plus years. He was at my side because when I met him in his capacity as the translator, interpreter for the courts, he is fluent in Spanish and as well as Portuguese. But I always primarily saw him in court as a Spanish interpreter. The overwhelming majority of my clients through the years have been Spanish speakers. And so Renee has always been there to interpret, to translate for me and for the courts as well, during trials, in the jails, waiting for trials, interviewing witnesses, you name it. And it's a really fond memory for me because I think about all the times that we were together, and we'd had trials that lasted days together. We would be out at the Western Tidewater Regional Jail on a Friday night because we had to meet with somebody before something, time was going to run out on something. We've been just in the cold weather, the hot weather, every jail you can think of. And we just shared so much time together and so many wonderful stories. And again, if you've ever spent any time in a jail or in a courthouse for that matter, there's a lot of waiting. There's a lot of time that you're sitting around waiting. And so Renee and I would just chat and chat and chat. And he would just tell me the most fascinating stories. And I would ask him questions. And he would always, always enlighten me about just everything. I learned a tremendous amount from him about history, about literature, about the law, about culture, you name it. I learned a lot from him. And so just a great, great guy. But here's his story. Did you want to chime in with anything?
I do want to say that I think you guys may have mentioned me. You may have heard me mentioning my parents had a grocery store, and Renee used to shop at the grocery store, and he knew me when I was a kid growing up at the grocery store, and he likes to tell those stories about me in the fish market. And his wife is really active with the League of Women Voters, and she has asked me to speak a few times to that group. And I always tell the story. About working the fish market and crab picking, and he's always there, and he's always just cheering me on and cheering us on, and has always supported a law firm. So we really appreciate Renee and his family.
Yes. And so, and I apologize, I'm going to be reading a little bit. I just want to give you the accurate story because there's an immigration story. When I met Renee, like I said, it was in the courts as a translator. But the backstory is that he left Cuba in 1961 as part of the unaccompanied minors exodus called Pedro Pan, which means Peter Pan. He had a suitcase. That's all he had with him, and he spoke zero English. He was 16 years old. He later reunited with one brother at a refugee camp in New Mexico, and then later reunited with his other brother and parents in New York, where his mother found a job teaching college Spanish. He met his wife Melanie in New York and relocated to the Hampton Roads area as a City of Norfolk librarian, where he stayed to raise his two daughters. And at that time in the 80s, the courts needed bilingual people to assist, and he later became a certified Spanish interpreter in order to be able to lend professional help to the court system. He trained his daughter Raquel to interpret in the early 90s, and she continues as the staff interpreter in Virginia Beach. He retired from court work, but he always enjoys helping the community and assisting the courts in providing service. So that's the backstory. And I work now with his daughter, Raquel. That's true. She has carried on the family tradition, and she has an office in the Virginia Beach courthouse, and she coordinates all the translators for the area. She's also a wonderful, wonderful interpreter. I've worked with a lot of people through the years as translators, and I can tell you the best ones are the ones that you're in the middle of your trial and you forget that they are even there. They just are so smooth and everything is so quiet that you forget that they're even translating. And both of them have that real gift of being able to do that. And one funny story, just an example of what a scholarly man he was and how well-rounded he was and educated. When he retired, we threw a retirement party for him, and it was a surprise party. And the ruse that we used to get him there was we told him it was my birthday, and that's what the party was going to be for my birthday. So he came thinking it was my birthday party. It was actually a surprise retirement party. But he brought me
such a fun time.
Yeah, it was a fun time. But he brought me a gift because he thought it was my birthday. So he brought me a birthday present. And, having come from Cuba and being a librarian and a Spanish interpreter for the courts all those years, of course, he brought me this. Yes, it's a 1,000 plus page biography about Ulysses S. Grant, of course. And when he gave it to me, he told me, I said, "Wow, Renee, that's a really big book." And he said, "Yes, it's a very long book." He said, "But be patient and stick with it. You'll be glad when you finish it that you did." And I just thought, wow, he really does just read and want to learn about just everything. So that's our story. Renee, thank you for just all the great work and all the wonderful memories and all the information. Like I
Absolutely.
said, you really taught me a lot.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I really do.
You're the best, Renee.
Okay.
Right. What are we talking about today? I'm looking here. I don't see any questions on our live stream on Facebook. Oh, but we have a compliment from Miss Turner here. Hello, attorneys. I don't have any questions, but my husband just wants to tell you how awesome you guys are for doing live every week and answering any immigration questions. You are very welcome, you guys. And I miss you guys. I hope you guys are doing well and everything is all A-okay and you're staying healthy. But thank you so much for that comment. We appreciate those too. And we love coming here. It's funny because we have this new microphone. I had this big plan. We're going to set up. We're going to start a little bit early. And then our daughter from the University of Vermont called. She FaceTimed us. So we were going to take that call. And
yes,
we were pretty much scrambling to get here to start at 8 o'clock because our daughter called. So anyhow, we do love being here. Do we have any questions from there? I do have a couple of pre-questions, but go ahead and grab a question.
Couple questions
let me take a look at my notes here.
Cliff wants to know, has the H-2B visa already reached its cap?
I am not an H-2B visa follower, and I believe I'm not going to answer that question. We work with a company that handles all of the H-2Bs, and we refer all of them to another company. So if you want to come back next week, although you'll probably find out the answer to this question by next week, I will have the answer for you whether the H-2B has been reached. I did see an email about that. I don't know if it said that the first part of it has been reached or I'm not going to answer that question because I don't know the answer.
All right. How about,
it's a good one though.
How about Jasmine wants to know if it's safe to go home to the Philippines using her advanced parole?
Yeah, it should be. I mean, if you were granted advanced parole, it should be. Yes.
Okay.
I will say, just because I'm just conservative and this I mean, take this with a grain of salt, but I don't like it when my clients use advanced parole when they have overstayed. But it's fine. Like, people don't have a problem doing it at all. So you should be A-okay. I just say that because it makes me a little nervous.
All right.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah. Okay. And one more. You want to take one more before you get to that? So Meow wants to know, says, I am currently in the US with a B2 visa, and I applied for an extension with the reason that I am waiting for employment. Do you think my
Hmm.
application for green card will be affected?
Well, at least you're honest, right? That is the one thing. So the thing about the B1 B2, it's not used as a bridge necessarily in these circumstances. And I don't know what the employment is. I don't know what the circumstances of the employment are. Um, but the B1 B2, and I take that back. It is sometimes used as a bridge. We do use it as a bridge sometimes, but the B1 B2 is a non-immigrant visa. So when you're applying for an extension of your B1, B2, you're essentially telling USCIS that you do not have the intent to remain in the United States on a permanent basis. And so there could be a conflict there. I don't know whether you're going from going from a B1 B2 to an H1B. So you've already filed it, and there's you can't really put it back in the box, so to speak. So you just have to see what the response is. I mean, they may just approve it. I don't know, but that is the issue there, that it's a non-immigrant visa, and you are essentially saying, hey, I'm here for a temporary stay, and my intent is to go back after this. You may be saying the same thing. That may not be in conflict with what you said to them when you said, hey, I'm waiting for an employment visa to be approved, but I don't know what it is, what type it is. So hopefully that answers your question a little bit. Let me see here. We have a couple of questions. Daughter of Mr. Rene Perez Lopez. She's coming in hot with a question, and honey, you can grab this.
Okay, let's see. Our DMV appointments walk-in now. What can people do to get ready for the driver privilege card? Also, thank you for your kind words. Okay, well, first of all, you are very welcome for the kind words. You all are the best, so it's really easy for us to have kind words for you. As far as I know, DMV is still by appointment only. If I'm wrong about that, somebody let me know. But I was just there recently with my daughter, and everyone coming in had an appointment. I saw no walk-ins. Regarding the driver privilege card, when that first came out and we were starting to deal with it, I think the biggest hiccup that we were finding people having was the tax part. You have to show that you had income in Virginia and that you reported it on a tax return the previous year. And we found that a lot of folks either, basically did not file taxes or did not even have an individual tax number, ID number, tax number, excuse me, to file taxes. So that was the part that a lot of people were stumbling on. And so they were having to go get an ITIN so that they could then go about retroactively filing the taxes. Because what we were hearing over and over again was, oh yeah, well, I've lived here for several years. I have worked here and had income, but I never filed taxes. And that was the problem. So my advice would be for folks that want to look into that is to start with that tax component and apply for the ITIN first, and then decide whether you want to retroactively file the taxes. That's a whole nother question.
Yeah.
Because you may decide that it's not worth it for you to get the driving privilege card if you're going to have to go down that road. Pardon the pun. All right.
I did a webinar a few months ago, and many people have applied for it and received the driver privilege card. So
yeah, no, I've got clients who have it.
It's great. It's great news. And if you are eligible for it, absolutely apply for it. And you can reach out to us if you need assistance with that. There are many other organizations in the area that are also assisting with that. So great question. It's still out there. It's still available, and go for it if it's the right thing for you.
Yeah, and I've seen them. They look exactly like a driver license. You cannot even tell the difference.
Yeah.
All right.
Hold on, we got a follow-up question here. Renee, it's Melanie. Hi, Melanie. Oh, the whole family's here. Wonderful, amazing. The whole family. Renee's asking how far John is in the grant book, and thank you for the kind words. Two fantastic immigration attorneys. Thank you so much, Melanie. You guys are awesome. So yeah, we'll let Attorney Gardner tell the world
I'm sad.
how far you are in the grant book.
I'm sad to say that you always give me good advice, and your advice was to be patient with it and stick with it, that it was a great book. And I tried my best, but I did not even reach the halfway point.
Well,
And I set it down with the intent to come back to it, but I never did.
Isn't Grant from Ohio? Is he one of your Ohio people? John's from Ohio.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, yeah, sorry, Renee. Let you down there.
It's just going to motivate John to pick it back up.
That's right.
Again.
You know what? She's right. Now I'm going to pick it back up and be like, okay, that's it. I am going to finish it.
That's it. All right. Kelton has a question. Do you have an update about U.S. Embassy in Manila? No update. I know that they are really, really one of the slower ones as far as getting things scheduled. And they're very backlogged. I'm sorry, I can't give you any more than that. It's still a huge, massive backlog for those people who are waiting to be interviewed. So we're waiting as well in several cases. All right, but good question though. Let's see here. What else do we have? I've got a couple of things that I wanted to answer that came in as a question. And one came, so someone emailed us this question, and I said that, look, if you email us info@gmlaw.net prior to the live stream, then we are 100% going to get to your question. So let me make good on that promise. And the question was, this woman is here on a B1, B2 visa. She is pregnant. Is there a way for her to stay? And have, she didn't say and have this baby, but I'm not sure if it was a general stay forever, stay for the baby to be born, or I'm not sure what the the end part of that question is. But there is, I'll start by saying there is no particular visa or change of status to a person who is pregnant in a specific category for that in order for the person to stay. What the person can do, what you can do is file an extension of your B1, B2 of your I-94 when it's prior to the expiration of that, and let them know that the reason why you're asking for an extension is because of the pregnancy, because you want to have the care, because you want to have prenatal care here in the United States, and maybe it's unsafe for you to travel, and that's the reason. So there are many ways to approach that as far as getting that extension done and how that should be worded. So hopefully the person who asked me that question is on and that helps. But extension of stay in your current status due to the pregnancy, but there's nothing specific for a person who is pregnant, right?
Okay, let's see here. Did you want to get another one there? You want to move over here for a second?
Yeah, sure. Let's see here. Yes. Go ahead, and if you want to grab.
Well, this is a real quick one that's come up a bunch. If you happen to know, is there a long wait to be scheduled for an interview, for an appointment in Juarez?
Yes. Yes, there is.
Yes. Okay.
Well, long wait. Let's define long wait. We just recently had some interviews scheduled, and it took 2 years. It took once, and again, we have the COVID factor, right? Like that really backed things up. But even before COVID hit, Juarez was super, super, super backlogged and backed up, and so it takes a while. The thing I have to tell you guys about that, as John and I always tell you every single week, is to just go ahead and get it filed. Go ahead and get it filed. Because we are just going to be here. We're just going to be breathing this air. You might as well have an I-130 petition or some application pending while we're just sitting here waiting. And yes, it does take a long time, I'm sorry to say. All right. Let me go ahead and grab this other question that someone sent in.
You do that?
Yeah. So the question is, can I have an I-130 petition pending? Can I file for a tourist visa while I'm waiting for this I-130 petition is pending? The answer to that question is yes. You can file for a tourist visa. You can go to the State Department and file a tourist visa and appear in an interview for a tourist visa, but the likelihood of that getting approved is very low. And the reason is, again, because of what I mentioned before. The I-130 petition is an immigrant visa process, which means you have, the intent to become an immigrant. Whereas when you apply and file for the B1, B2, the tourist visa, you are saying, I am a non-immigrant. My intent is to come back home after a short period of time. I've got ties here in my country, and my intent is to come back home. So again, we've got a that's oh, it's Susu's calling. Hi, Susu. we've got we have a dual intent here, which is impermissible. And again, you can apply for that, but I don't think it's going to get approved. You just have to, the other thing is, guys, when you are applying for these, tourist visa and you've got something pending or any type of visa application, you have to make sure that you are 100% truthful about what you have pending, who is living in the United States, what family members are living in the United States. So that's a specific question. And you can't hide any of that information. I mean, I've seen that before where, I see a young single woman from Eastern Europe, and she's here on a tourist visa, and she's got an I-130 petition pending by her mom. And I said, did you mention this I-130 petition pending during your visa interview and in your application? And she said no. And so that's a problem. I mean, that's material misrepresentation. And that's going to be a problem for future applications down the road. So it's really, it's tough for us to do our jobs when we have that kind of situation. But even worse, it could result in future applications being denied. So, all right, spent a lot of time on that one. All right, what else do we have today?
We have a lot of questions over here on TikTok.
I don't have any other questions here. And we have a comment from Kelton about just inequities and things like that. So we understand your frustration, Kelton, and just hang in there. Hopefully they get to your case very soon.
Yeah, it's a complaint we hear often.
Yeah,
to say the least.
This right here, this update that I was going to give. Maybe you can. This is about the what happens if the government shuts down. But let's take a couple of questions before we jump into that.
So Maylee wants to know, I'm on a J visa. How or what is the easiest way to file for a waiver? Thank you. J visa.
So
file for a waiver.
It depends on so waiver, and again, it also depends on the country. So I know that if you're trying to get a waiver from the Philippines, it's back. It's just they're not even working on them right now, as of maybe about a month ago, the last time that we checked. So our waiver cases are really on hold right now. It's unfortunate. If you're, and maybe they're talking about an extreme hardship waiver, there are different types of J1 visa waivers. And so again, if you're talking about a no objection statement from your country, depending on your country, it's tough to get those right now because they're not working on them. They're just simply not working on them. I know that's kind of a non-answer to your question, but what country, we would need a little bit more information, and it's more than just an answer on the live stream. Unfortunately, I wish I could just be like, yeah, here's how you do it. But with the typical way that you do it, the governments aren't working on them. So
Yeah, and this is a comment to Jiang Life. You had a question that kind of got cut off, so if you could resubmit it. I did see it, but I can't make heads or tails of it because it's broken into pieces. All right. Okay. We have these.
Oh my gosh, I just looked at my computer battery. When I tell you guys we were in a hurry to get here, we were. I think we're good.
Is it hard to file for a second time for a K-1 visa after a divorce from the first K-1 visa?
Is it hard? No, it's not hard. You just have to mention it in your application. Don't not put that information in there. I've gotten that question before, where can we just not mention? No, you can't just not mention. It's specifically asked in the application. So just mention it. Things happen. We've had clients apply for more than one K1. Sometimes it just doesn't work out, and that happens. It happens, 50% of the time as far as divorce in the United States is concerned. So it's okay. Hey Ray, can you do me a favor? Can you grab that charger and plug this in from the back here?
Mm-hmm.
We have our technical assistants here. Sometimes these things happen. The technical assistance is required. Oh.
Okay, here we have this one.
Charge right there.
You can take. Arm wants to know.
No, where's an outlet?
Go ahead.
It's over here. Arm wants to know, how can I contact you guys for filling out a form for my mother to bring her to the United States? I am a U.S. citizen.
Yeah. So, sorry guys. Well, Ray's our technician, and she actually has a Gardner Mendoza T-shirt on.
That's right.
Yeah,
She's official.
She's official.
She's official live
we need to
staff.
put her on the payroll.
That's right.
All right, so
she's like the Paul Schaefer. We don't have a band, so we just have a tech person here.
Nobody knows who Paul Schaefer is.
Of course they do.
Who's Paul Schaefer?
He was the leader of the band on the David Letterman late night show.
David Letterman just went off air 20 years ago.
It doesn't fit.
It's not long enough? Don't we have an extension cord? Sorry, guys. All right, let me get to that question. So, when you are filing a family-based case, and in this case, we have this is cracking me up. We have a U.S. citizen petitioning for a parent. The very first thing that you have to do in that case, your parent is living abroad. Let's say the parent is in the Philippines. You have to start off that case in all family-based cases with the I-130 petition. So that may be the form that you're referring to. So it's actually a whole process.
Just pretend like you didn't see any of that.
just all this stuff in the background. It's a whole process. So first step is the I-130 petition. Once that is approved by USCIS, the second step is then you're going to go through National Visa Center processing, where you have to submit the State Department docs. And then your affidavit of support, where you also have to submit your taxes, mom's documents. And then once the National Visa Center processes those documents, NVC, you kind of see it as like a visa clearinghouse where they collect all of your documentation to be ready for the visa interview. Mom schedules the interview, or the interview is scheduled depending on the country. And she gets the medical and appears at that interview. She gets her visa stamp. They send it to her, again, depending on the embassy, 1 week later, and then she immigrates to the United States.
Okay.
There it is in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm. All right. What does it mean when the embassy sends the paperwork back to immigration? I'm not sure if we need more there or not. That's what Philip wants to know. We may need some more. So did they revoke the petition? Yeah. That happens sometimes if you wait too long in responding to the national visa, and you don't have any action within a year, and then they kind of
they say you haven't contacted us in a year. Then they send you a letter and say, hey, you haven't contacted us within a year. You have a year to contact us. So you then have another year to say something, do something. And if you don't, then yeah, they will send that back. All right. So we've got, let's see here. We've got a question. Jay's got a question. Jay, can I petition my wife from the Philippines as fiance once I get my citizenship? Yes, the answer is yes, you can. So long as you meet the other requirements of the fiance visa, which includes you have to have seen your fiance within 2 years of filing the I-129F. Jay, one thing to think about, depending on how long it's going to take you to get your citizenship, is getting married and filing for your wife as a lawful permanent resident, and then becoming a citizen. Then you don't have to fool around with the visa bulletin. The visa bulletin is current, but it's just another option to think about. I'm not saying that you should do that. It's just, I see a question like that, and I'm thinking about time. How long is it going to take for Jay to get the citizenship? Is it 1, 2, 3? Who knows? If it takes a long time, then that's another option for you. Oh, look, he asked this question. Instead of I-130, I just see it faster than I-130. Any thoughts? Again, is it faster or not? It just depends. When can you get married? When are you going to become a U.S. citizen? It depends on a couple of different factors. So we'd be happy to talk to you about that, Jay, and just kind of walk you through that. For those of you who have not been here before and this is your first time, and if you're just popping in and joining us, my name is Radlin Mendoza, and this is my law partner husband, John Gardner. We are the owners and the attorneys, a couple of the attorneys at Gardner and Mendoza Immigration Law in Virginia Beach. That's where our office is. We serve clients in all 50 states and all around the world. And if you want to get more information, or if you would like a consultation with our law firm, with our attorneys, you can send us an email at info@gmlaw.net, or you can call us at 757-464-9224. A lot of people, they ask the question of, hey, I'm in California, I'm X, I'm Y, I'm Z, wherever you are in the country, wherever you are in the world, can you guys represent me? You guys are on the East Coast, you're in Virginia Beach. And the answer?
The answer is yes. Of course we can. We've been doing it for years. It doesn't matter where you are. We do everything. We can do everything through Zoom. We can do it through phone calls and email. There's DocuSign for documents. We don't really need to be in the same physical location that you are. That said, if you feel more comfortable visiting with an immigration attorney that's in your geographical location, we understand that. There are some people that just prefer that, and if that makes you more comfortable, then so be it. But you should definitely consult with somebody about your case. Your immigration case is important. This is not just a minor thing that you're going about doing. This is a really, really important thing that you're doing that's going to greatly impact both you and your family and future family down the road. So you really want to make sure you get it right, because mistakes can really be costly. They can even be fatal to your case. So make sure you do consult with somebody. If it's us, great. We'd love to talk to you. If not, then find somebody in your local area that you feel comfortable with. All right. But definitely talk to an immigration lawyer.
Yeah, for sure. And there are many qualified immigration attorneys out there in all 50 states. But as John said, we can help.
Yeah.
All right. Das Ramos. You want to read this one?
Yeah, I was just getting ready to get to Super Timmy. Hold on, Super Timmy. We're coming right back to you. Okay?
We are obscured, but that's okay.
Hello,
attorney. Good question.
We're a lesbian couple. I'm a U.S. citizen, and my wife is Filipina. Since same-sex marriage is not recognized in the Philippines, and she now uses my last name, is there going to be a problem when her passport last name doesn't match her green card name, assuming we'll file with her new name?
Gotcha. So
that.
this is I'm going to say that this is more of a Philippine law question as far as getting a passport. So I can't see, well, I don't know. I mean, I'm completely guessing on this. Yes, that's correct. The same-sex marriage is not recognized in the Philippines. We're not asking them to recognize your marriage per se. We're asking for them to issue a Philippine passport in a new name based on a marriage that was valid, assuming you got married here in the United States. She's got the green card. So I would say give it a shot and try to apply for a new passport, Philippines passport, with the new name, with the, attaching the marriage certificate. But again, it's more of a Philippines law issue more than a U.S. immigration issue. I hope that helps. If it sounds like the name has changed. I was going to say, if you don't even want to deal with that, I'm just, again, this is anecdotal, and I'm speaking from what my parents do and what my family does when they travel to the Philippines. My mom will just enter the U.S. Enter the Philippines with her Philippines passport, and then when she comes into the United States, which, I mean, your wife does not, she's not a citizen yet, but she will use her U.S. passport to enter the United States. So, the issue of the name kind of, we bypass that issue, but theoretically she could go in with her Philippines passport, right? I don't know. Do they look for a green card, a U.S. green card when you enter the Philippines? I'm not sure. I don't think they do, but that's something to think about if you do not go with a name change on the passport. Hope that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
That makes sense to you? All right. Yeah. But the name thing is, if they're asking for more than just the Philippines passport, the name thing can be an issue and it can come up. I mean, I had to do an affidavit for my mom, which made absolutely no sense to me, but I did it anyway. She just traveled to the Philippines. So, all right.
Okay, back to Super Timmy. Super Timmy wants to know,
I like the name.
I'm scheduled
Timmy.
for my interview for the N400 in November.
Yay! Congratulations, Super Timmy.
The question is, will that include the civics test?
Yes.
The interview.
Yes, it will. That is the test that you'll be studying. Hopefully, well, it's only October, right? But study that 2018 test. Don't study the new one that's no longer being used. But you'll be studying for the N400, the application to become a U.S. citizen. You are going to be studying 100 questions, a lot shorter than that 1,000-page grant book. You'll be studying 100 questions.
Yeah, use the flashcards. That's the best thing.
The flashcards are good.
The way to go.
There's so many materials on uscis.gov, and I put a specific link if you go to my TikTok on the link directly to the 100 questions PDF, which is current. And I got it right off of the website. So you study those 100 questions. The officer will pick 6 questions from that. 10, let me just say 10. They will pick 10 questions from that randomly. If you answer the first 6 correct, they stop the test because you only have to get 6 out of 10. So you can actually miss 4 and still pass that civics and history test. And again, you're writing this question. I'm sure that the English is not a problem, but I do want to mention that for those who do not have a solid grasp on the English language, where you're able to answer all the questions on the N400 application in the sense that you know that many of the answers to the question are no. Do you plan on becoming a terrorist? No. Have you ever been a prostitute? No. All these questions you're answering no. But if you're asked, what does it mean to be a terrorist, then you should be able to explain in 1 or 2 words what that means. So one way that I've seen officers deny a case is if they can tell that the applicant does not understand the questions that they're going through during that interview. Now, Super Timmy's not going to have a problem with that probably because he's actually writing a question, right? But I have sat through interviews where I have been hired just to go to the second interview because the first time the mom has failed the English test. I mean, mom knows all the answers to every single one of the 100 questions on the civics. Mom knows every single answer. She can answer all of them 100%, but she can't tell the officer, whether she has ever been married before. She gets confused by that. So those questions on the N400 application are really super important if your parent, and again, I see this primarily in older applicants, your parent, you guys have put that video on or the MP3 and you've made mom listen to that thing and she has memorized it to a T, but she can't answer the simple questions within the application. They're going to fail her on the English. Right. That wasn't really part of the question, but it's my little.
That's a good tip, though.
Yeah.
That's a good tip. Use the flashcards to learn it. And then also keep in mind what Radlin was just talking about, because that's good to know.
Yeah, the pro tip really is to have somebody. It's a 21-page application, and is to have a good friend just orally ask you every single one of the questions on the application.
Yeah, do like a mock interview. Okay, PB Jelly wants to know.
That's one of my favorite snacks.
PB Jelly is a U.S. citizen and wants to know if there's anything that she can do to help. Sorry, she just disappeared. Anything that she can do to help her sister obtain a tourist visa?
So we get this question a lot. What can I sponsor X family member on a tourist visa? So the answer is there is no real sponsorship on a tourist visa. Sis can apply for the tourist visa on her own. She's going to have to show that she has strong ties to her country and that she has the intent to return to the country. They're going to look at her age as a factor. Where is she working? What is she doing? What does she look like? Is she an educated person versus someone who's not? Does she look like she has money in her bank account or not? Does she look like she's going to come back or not? So these are all the factors that that are going to come into play. And we used to have a lot, not a lot, but we used to be able to, the applicant would be able to submit, oh, here's a letter of invitation for my sister. Or here's my sister's affidavit of support that she prepared. They don't even want to look at that anymore. It's on their website. Do not submit letters of invitation or affidavits of support. And so our hands are really tied. Like I hated doing these anyway. Now there's really nothing that we can do to help advise clients who are applying for a B1, B2. As a U.S. citizen sister, your sister can go and say, hey, I'm going to go visit my U.S. citizen sister. She's this is her address. This is my return ticket. This is our itinerary. Mm-hmm. This is what we're going to do. Should you prepare a letter of invitation? Sure, prepare the letter of invitation. In the event that your sis can present it to the officer. They weren't accepting those, for 75% of our clients that we prepared them for, which was not good because, you prepare everything for your client and then the officer doesn't take it and then they deny the case and, nobody's happy. Nobody's happy.
Yeah, you can, and that's all great advice to remember that you're applying for a tourist visa, so you want to make sure that you're talking about being a tourist.
Right.
Okay. You don't want to say, I want to help my sister get this tourist visa because when she gets here, she's going to help me with our, our food truck.
Absolutely not.
She's a great cook, and I know she'll be great on the food truck. Just be careful. Don't keep it to tourism.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. This is a good question from JC. JC says, good days. Having a high blood pressure can hold me back when I do my medical. Wife and I are starting adjustment of status. Thank you. And more power to you too, JC. Hopefully you get that blood pressure lowered. No, that is not going to be a problem on your medical. If it were a problem, I don't know if we would have any Filipino. I'm just kidding. All right. That's not funny. A lot of Filipinos have high blood pressure. JC, I don't know if you're Filipino, I can't tell, but a lot of people have high blood pressure. We have even younger people have high blood pressure. I'm going to walk that one back about
Yeah, and some of these questions coming through on TikTok, folks, timing questions, we try not to get into those as much when people say, what do you think how much faster do you think it'll be for the embassy in Bahrain to blah, blah, those are very difficult questions for us to answer because there's just so much uncertainty and we don't know all the details. And so it's hard for us to tell you, oh, we think it'll be 3 months or we think it'll be 18 months. So if we're not getting to your questions, it's probably because it's one of those types of questions.
Yeah,
right?
timing questions are really, really hard to answer right now. They're hard to answer with just how long is taking when there's not a lot of details. When there's not a lot of details, again, yeah, we're not trying to ignore the question. It's just that a lot of people ask the question, and there's so many other questions that we have. It's like, well, are you a citizen? What did you file? What service center are you at?
Right.
Who's the family member that you're filing for? So these are all factors in how long things are going to take. Right now, I will just throw out fiance visa processing times. They are anywhere between 6 to 9 months out of the California Service Center, or I believe, if my memory is serving correctly, and it's on my phone, which is of course connected to TikTok, like 9 to 11 months in Vermont. So that's a long time. That's a really long time for fiance visa cases.
All right. Here's one we can answer. MJ wants to know, do you handle a removal of condition I-751?
Yes, we do. We
Sure do.
I recently, I recently did a video about mistakes that people make. And I started the video with the 3 common mistakes that people make. And I realized that, I could have said 25, right? One of them, and I'm going to continue the video, but one of them is I wanted to say, look, you signed in the wrong place. The 751 is a tricky little form when it comes to signature. So, people have hired us after they've filed I-751s that have been rejected because of signing in the wrong places. I actually had a client who had his rejected a couple of times, and then he got the very scary letter that he was going to be placed in removal proceedings. So we can absolutely help with that, and we'd be happy to. You can reach us at 757-464-9224 if you want to text us or give us a call for an appointment. All right, JC has a follow-up question. Thank you so much. That definitely made my blood pressure lower. Pretty funny. My brother is renewing his US B1, B2 visa. There's a question if he has an immediate relative here in the United States. That is me. But we are just about to begin our application. I'm technically overstayed, but now I'm married to a U.S. citizen. Should my brother wait till I get a status, or should he indicate that I don't have a status just for him to proceed with his renewal? So I'm gonna have to take a look at that application, JC, because immediate relative, I gotta review the DS 160. That's the application. You're not an immediate relative per se in the definition of immigration, but that's a good point of whether he should wait or not until you get status. I'm gonna have to take a look at that application, the DS 160, and interpret that and get my interpretation for you with regard to immediate relative, JC. But it's a really good question, because sometimes we do have our clients wait to do stuff before applying for the B1, B2, or apply for it first and then do something. So. Daniel is just checking in. Hello, Daniel. How are you? Thanks for joining us again.
Absolutely.
He's a trooper. Hopefully the baby is okay, the newborn, and sleeping. All right.
Let's see. Here's a question. I don't know if you know the answer to this one. Can you petition for someone if they got deported? His 5-year deportation already expired. Not sure what
you can file that case would have to be analyzed from the the vantage point of, okay, what happened? What was the reason
Yeah.
for deportation? And do we need a qualifying relative? So yeah, we'd have to take a look at that.
Need a lot more information on that one.
Possibly though, not impossible.
it's not
Absolutely.
impossible.
Yeah, for sure. It especially if there's, it doesn't sound like it could have been voluntary departure, but I'm not sure. The 5 years. Thanks, Melanie. Melanie says, congratulations on the excellent program. Melanie, you can catch us here every Wednesday night. It's a party.
We had a little power outage problem there. We don't normally have, but
no, we really don't have our tech.
Fortunately,
tech
we have
person.
a tech on call at all times.
She's supposed to be doing her homework, but she's actually just spinning around in a chair.
Right.
But these are all really, really fantastic questions. We don't have too many immigration updates this week, but
no, do you want to mention any of that before we grab
well,
a few
I
more
just
TikTok questions?
there have been some questions about, whether, what if there is a government shutdown, what will happen to USCIS, what will happen to my application, what's going to happen? It's already backlog. Are they really going to shut down? And if there is, and John can speak more to, the government shutdown if you want to talk about that. But if there is a government you're like, no, I don't want to talk about the government shutdown. If there is a government shutdown, United States Citizenship and Immigration Services is a fee-based agency, which means you all pay for them to be in business. And so it should not theoretically be impacted by the government shutdown. Immigration and Customs Enforcement is going to be considered to be essential. The State Department also is fee-based. So hopefully it will be business as usual with immigration. If there is a government shutdown, hopefully there's not. But, all right.
Right. Yeah, keep our fingers crossed. I know folks have been wanting to know what's going on with immigration reform, specifically DACA. And again, we don't know. I told you last week that the Senate parliamentarian had ruled that it cannot be attached to a reconciliation bill. And the Democrats in the Congress were doing that to try to get around a filibuster. So immigration can't be attached to that. So we're not sure where it's going to go now. That's the $1 million question. We're watching it, and I will keep you posted when I find out. Okay.
Yeah, and I also want to invite you all on TikTok, and for you all who are joining us and you have not followed our page at our Facebook page, please follow us so you can get updates on when we are appearing live. It's usually on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for those of you all on TikTok, if you come to our live stream on Facebook, then we will put your question up. We've been on live stream on Facebook for a year and a half now, and so we just this is our fan base. We have our loyalty is first and foremost to our Facebook family. So come on to Facebook, put your questions in, and our alarm clock is right on time at 9 o'clock p.m. She's like, it's time for dinner, mommy. You want to wear the headphones? Okay, yeah, sure.
Nice.
You can just make sure we're sounding good. Ooh, feels good without those things on. Are we sounding good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So
okay, we have a minute left.
Okay, we have 1 minute left. Actually, we're over 1 minute. But I want to thank everyone for coming and supporting us every single week, and for all of your great questions. Your questions are helping others move forward in their immigration cases. So we really appreciate you all participating and asking such great questions.
Yeah. And I want to thank Renee again for all the great memories, for making me a better lawyer and a better person. I appreciate it, Renee. Okay. The last question I have here, somebody wanted to know, they just got their green card. And
Congratulations.
Congratulations. And of course, they've immediately set their sights on petitioning for their parents. Can they do that?
Oh, well, you can do that when you become a U.S. citizen. So good job on getting the green card. I don't know what the basis was. If you got the green card based on marriage to a U.S. citizen, you can file for U.S. citizenship 2 years and 9 months from the date on that green card, the date of issuance on the green card. So 2 years and 9 months, you can file 90 days early. So you'll see 3 years in many places, but you can file 90 days early. If you got it some other way other than marriage to a U.S. citizen, then you have to wait 4 years and 9 months before applying for U.S. citizenship. So almost there. I know that sounds like a really long time, but it's not in the big scheme of things. So great job thinking about your family. That is what immigration is all about. It's all about family unity and having your family together. Who doesn't want that? So.
All right. Why don't we end on that? All right.
All right. Well, guys, we're going to see you next Wednesday.
That's right.
Right. And
same time.
Bring
your questions.
Same time, same place. We will have it all. We're going to plug the computer in. So Ray wants to be seen. Thank you so much. And we will see you next time.
We always
two thumbs up, Ray.
Two thumbs up. Does that look familiar, Raquel?
if she's still on.
If you're still on, Raquel, you know all about the thumbs up.
2 thumbs up. Yeah. Right. That's our theme.
I'll see you next week in court. Probably.
All right. Bye, guys.
See you guys.
Take care.